For today's episode of Japan Answered, the question we are going to be answering is, what is the best way to get from Tokyo to Osaka? Hello, and welcome to an episode of Japan Answered, a sub-series of Japan Explained. My name is Jay, and over the years, I've worked, lived in, and visited all 47 prefectures of Japan. So I'm going to try to answer some of your questions today. Today's question is, what is the best way to get from Tokyo to Osaka? So this is a very common question which I have received in some comments of my videos and heard from some of my customers as a travel advisor, as this scenario pops up frequently in the itineraries of many visitors to Japan. For example, you may have secured your flight to Japan, but you're entering from either Haneda or Narita Airport in the Kanto region and departing from Kansai Airport in the Kansai region, or vice versa. Or you may be landing in Tokyo, but you want to include a side trip to Osaka or the Kansai region in your plan. Or if you're landing in Kansai Airport, but you want to include a side trip to Tokyo or the Kanto region. Either way, you'll need to travel between Tokyo and Osaka and are looking for the best way to do it. So with that, let's dive into the question. The short answer is, it depends. It turns out that this question is not as simple as it seems, since we all have different travel plans and priorities. Some of us just want to cut the traveling time as much as possible, while some of us are looking for options that are more budget friendly. Some travelers want a scenic route, while others may have specific conditions which they are looking for. As such, the best option often depends on you. But since you're here, let me share with you the pros and cons of the options so you can make an informed choice. The first option is to take the Shinkansen, or the bullet train. This will be the main option that is recommended by most travel websites or advisors, and with good reasons as well. The Tokaido Shinkansen, which is the bullet train that runs from Tokyo Station towards Shin Osaka Station, can make the journey as quickly as 2.5 hours if you are on the Nozomi, the fastest train service on the Tokaido Shinkansen. There is also the Hikari service, which can make the journey in about 3 hours, and the Kodama service, which is the slowest among the 3 services and takes more than 4 hours. Considering only the Nozomi and Hikari services, trains are frequent and depart from Tokyo Station almost every 10 minutes. This method is pretty convenient too, since both stations are major access nodes and you can get tickets as late as minutes before departure. You can also include a reservation for your oversized luggage when purchasing a reserved seat ticket, so transporting your luggage is not a hassle at all. The downside, however, is that pretty much everyone living in Japan or visiting Japan knows how fast and convenient the Shinkansen is. Its popularity doesn't really pose issues for solo travelers, but it becomes a bigger problem when the size of your travel group gets bigger, or you are planning your trip during critical periods such as the morning rush hours, the Golden Week in May, or the Obon vacation in August. Personally, I've tried standing on a crowded Shinkansen for 2 hours, and trust me, it is not an enjoyable experience. It is also a rather costly way of travel, with a single trip for a reserved seat from Tokyo Station to Shin Osaka Station costing more than 13,500 yen. However, there are some things that you can try to mitigate these issues. You can reserve your seats online in advance and be punctual for your train. Or try to shuffle your travel plans so that you make the journey during off-peak hours. Alternatively, you may consider paying more for a seat in the green cars instead if all the reserved seats are taken up. Also, holders of a nationwide Japan Rail Pass will probably choose this method of travel, since pass users can cover the journey using the Hikari service, the second fastest service on the Tokaido Shinkansen, which can make the journey in about 3 hours. Finally, another reason to choose this method is for the Shinkansen experience. I mean, digging into your ekiben while enjoying the changes in scenery as the bullet train whizzes through the country. Checking an item off your Japan bucket list has never been so easy and comfortable. Japan Explained is a series where I do the homework so you don't have to. Most of the videos in this series provide useful information to travelers to Japan. So if you're planning a trip soon, please subscribe to this channel for more content like this. The second method of travel between Tokyo and Osaka is by catching a domestic flight between the airports of the 2 major cities. The major airlines that offer domestic flights between these 2 major cities include All Nippon Airways or ANA and Japan Airlines or JAL. For Tokyo, you can catch these domestic flights at Narita or Haneda Airport, while for Osaka, you can catch domestic flights at Kansai or Itami Airport. Flying between Tokyo and Osaka takes a little between over an hour to about 1 hour 40 minutes, depending on which airport you are departing from and landing into. Flights are slightly more frequent if you are flying from Haneda Airport to Kansai Airport, with more than 15 flights every day covering the route. However, this also means that the number of seats are fixed and limited. So even if you manage to secure these air tickets, it may be difficult to make changes. Another downside of this method is that although it may seem like this method of travel is faster than the Shinkansen, you will need to take into account the traveling time between the cities and the airports, since the airports in Tokyo and Osaka are located outside the cities. Factoring in the time needed to check in, the waiting time, and etc., the whole journey may take well over 3 hours. The price of this method of travel is also slightly more unstable. The flights typically cost from 7,000 yen to above 15,000 yen, depending on the airports and the airlines you choose. On top of that, the transport between the airport and the city centers will cost you at least another 2,000 yen both ways. Hence, this method may turn out to be more expensive than the Shinkansen most of the time. Despite these points, this method is particularly convenient if you're trying to put all your long travels into certain days. For example, if you're flying into Tokyo and are starting your Japan adventure with Osaka right off the start, you can land in Haneda Airport and catch a domestic flight straight to Kansai Airport. Some people may also choose this method of travel due to the flights that they have chosen for their Japan trip. Some international flights may include domestic flights in their packages, or some people may just want to use this opportunity to use or earn more miles with certain airlines. Another reason people may still choose flying despite limited seats is that seats are reserved and allocated beforehand, so you get to fly reliably in comfort, even during peak periods like Golden Week. Whatever the reason may be, people who choose this method of travel typically require some level of planning and certainty in their travel itinerary. The third option is to catch a highway bus. There are many bus companies that operate highway buses between prefectures and cities, including Tokyo and Osaka. Among the 3 options so far, this may be the cheapest, since the bus ticket from Tokyo to Osaka can range from 5,000 yen to more than 12,000 yen, depending on what kind of seats and features you choose. You can choose seats with privacy curtains, charging points, or even footrests to make your journey as comfortable as possible. Although these buses run during the day as well, there are also overnight highway buses, so you can board the bus at night, go to sleep, and wake up at your destination in the morning. If you are trying to use your time in Japan efficiently, sleeping on the move may be a viable option for you. These buses typically have various pick-up and drop-off points in both Tokyo and Osaka, so it is especially convenient if you have heavy luggages and stay at a hotel near such locations. However, one of the biggest downsides of this option is that no matter how comfortable it is, not everyone sleeps well on the seat of a bus. Also, this is the more time-consuming option among the 3, as a single trip from Tokyo to Osaka takes about 8 to 9 hours, depending on several factors such as the time of the day and traffic conditions. Although I myself have taken highway buses several times and haven't encountered any significant delays so far, the unpredictability of traffic conditions may still pose a hurdle to some travelers who are unfamiliar with highway buses. As such, I would highly advise you not to take highway buses if you have something important on the arriving day and need to be punctual or energetic. However, overnight highway buses remain a popular option among both tourists and locals, as it is the cheapest and most time-efficient option among the 3. There are also other viable options to choose from to make the journey from Tokyo to Osaka. Although these options require more effort or time, they also offer a different level of freedom and experience in Japan. For example, you can rent a car and drive from Tokyo to Osaka. The non-stop journey one way takes more than 6 hours, but will give you the freedom to stop anywhere along the way for a rest or visit other places in Japan. You will, however, need to get an International Driving Permit or IDP before coming to Japan, and find a car rental which allows you to collect your car from one location and return it at another location, assuming you are not making a round trip. Driving in Japan can be a fun and adventurous experience, but if you are choosing this option, it is best to practice safe driving, take frequent breaks at rest stops, and have more than one driver in your traveling group. You can also make the entire journey using only normal local trains. The whole journey will take at least 8.5 hours and require several transfers between trains, but you'll be able to place less focus on the road and put more attention into admiring the scenery as the trains pass through various cities and towns. This option is particularly useful if you're planning to make use of the Seishun 18 ticket. You can also choose to make stops along the journey to visit other parts of Japan, but be sure to check the departure time of your next train so that you won't miss it, especially if you're trying to complete the entire journey within the day. Or you can make the journey via the Hokuriku region. Instead of taking the Tokaido Shinkansen directly between Tokyo and Shin Osaka, you can make the journey via the route that runs through the Hokuriku region on the other side of Japan. The Hokuriku Shinkansen starts from Tokyo and currently ends at Tsuruga Station in Fukui Prefecture, while the Thunderbird Limited Express trains links up Tsuruga to Osaka Station. A one-way journey along this route takes about 5 hours 40 minutes, but provides you with opportunities to stop by many prefectures along the Sea of Japan, such as Toyama, Ishikawa, and Fukui. Users of the nationwide Japan Rail Pass or the Hokuriku Arch Pass will be able to take advantage of this option to make the journey. Ultimately, the best option to travel between Tokyo and Osaka depends on the traveler. Are you traveling alone, in a small group, or in a large group? Are you traveling with kids or seniors? Do you want to enjoy the experience and scenery, or would you rather sleep through the whole journey? Are you carrying a lot of luggage, or are you traveling light? Do you have a tight budget or a tight schedule? That is all up to you, the traveler. And this is the end of this episode of Japan Answered. If you found this answer useful, drop a like or leave a comment to show some love for this series. Also, if you have any questions about Japan which you would like me to try to answer, feel free to drop a comment and your question may be featured in the next episode of Japan Answered. With that, see you in the next episode. では、またね。